everyone, welcome back to Laughing Losers. Today it is me, Sunny, and today I'm bringing you a Knight's Guide to Golden Trophy or Quest for the Golden Trophy, or it could also work for Crimson Cauldron. So what we're going to be doing is kind of showing you a little bit of basics with the sword and the shield. There's really not much to it to kind of give basics on, but I can still give a little bit on it. So yeah. So we're going to be doing some of the basics in here for the sword. I'll end up doing I'll try to do all the guide or little tips with the bow or anything else along with the sword, but I'm doing the sword right now, so yeah. If you're kind of new to the game, you'll realize that if you're hitting the goblins in Quest for Golden Trophy, or the little things on the ground, like, you know, how you would normally just swing your remote around, it's not like they fall down and then they get back up and you have to hit them again, then they'll, then they'll die. So what you want to do there, just to get rid of them as quick as possible, is to use your sword and swing as hard or with double the power, and you should be able to knock them out in one go. But if you don't, then hit with more force. But be careful to have a good grip on your remote. You don't want to end up throwing it. So yeah, look, not very powerful with the normal kind of hit. It can still knock them over, but with the extra power hit, they'll go flying. Pretty simple. You know, it's pretty basic there. So, with your shield, I can show you that in a minute here, but with double swords, it's kind of difficult to move when you're attacking, because you might be walking and it's going to do this. So I do suggest just having a shield and a sword, but if you're a double sworder, I would have some more experience, and I'd have some more experience with one sword, and then a little bit more experience with the other sword in the other hand. Doesn't matter which hand is your dominant one, just try to practice with that one first, and then, and then move on to the other one, then try the double sword tactic. The double sword tactic, it's kind of, it's kind of like a difficult tactic, but it's kind of for a little more, security, or if you're trying to get more points, you might go for double sword. So you could, if there's two enemies near you and you are using extra the force, you could easily just get them like that. So it's a pretty good tactic, but moving isn't the best with it. So look at how the moving when you're attacking like this, but moving with one sword, you can continue to move and you can hit a lot. There's more to do with the one-handed sword. The way I play in Golden Trophy, which I've been, this is the way I normally play in Golden Trophy when I have a sword or Crimson Cauldron. I go just a sword and a bow, because the bow, I can show you some pretty neat and good things about the bow in a bit. Okay, that's good. I mean, that was a good hit there. Oh. But yeah, so that's a decent amount on the sword. Let's just get into the area where there's a shield, and yeah, I can show you a little bit more things you can do with the shield. So, as you're going in, there's a neat trick that I'll show you with, I believe it works for every kind of, quest-like thing, is when you're, spawning in, or, going into the game, you can slide your weapon on your back, and then if it says game on right after that, remember, it's a black screen, and if it says game on right after you put the weapon on your back, and you spawn in, and you pull it back, it should be there, but sometimes it doesn't work, it's kind of weird. But, sword and shield tactic. This one you can have a little more protection, but I don't do it like this because I feel like it kind of blocks your sight, and, you can just easily dodge with the sword. Sometimes it's not that easy, but I do suggest just one-handed sword. But if you're new to the game, I do suggest using your shield, or you can do it however you want, but I like just using a sword, because I feel like I have a little bit more control over what I'm doing. Because with these, you kind of have to wait a minute, but if you can quickly attack with your one sword on an enemy, you can easily, get rid of them. So what you really want to do with a shield at the end, you don't have to do this, but if you have people who are using bows, I suggest at least one person double shielding the boss, because it kind of distracts the enemy, and I believe you can block most of the attacks that he does, and it can push him out of his position a little bit. So if there are people bowing the guy from the back, then while you're blocking or more distracting it, then you have a pretty good chance at beating the enemy quickly. Otherwise, double shielding is pretty useless. You can't deal any damage by doing this. I know it may seem like at the end you're not really helping, but you're actually being very helpful. So double shielding at the end, for at least one person, if you have a full group of people who at the end are using bows, it'd be helpful to use double shield, or you could do it a harder way. I'm not really too certain which way would be harder or easier. I'm pretty sure this would make it easier though, so I do suggest trying that. So there you go. There's the shield kind of tactic there. But when it comes kind of down to what you might want to have a setup for, is a bow and a sword. Having a bow on your back and a sword in front. That way, when you're going to, I don't know, when you're in that one area and you need a long range, you can just pull it right off your back and boom. And then you can just get back into melee. It's a pretty nice tactic. And you know how you don't have a shield, but without the shield, you can easily just go to your bow, and you won't have to, you know, throw your shield or something, you know. It makes it a lot easier with that kind of a tactic there. But if you're new to the game, I do suggest practicing a little bit with the bow and the sword. Basically, try to practice with most of the items. It'd make, you know, winning these kind of quests a lot easier. Also, vases or vases, I don't really know what to call them. I don't know, okay? It just feels weird to call them vases. So, when you're new to game, if you want to get an S rank, I suggest breaking as many of those. But at the very beginning, there's no point in breaking them because they don't give you anything. So, yeah, that's pretty much been the Knight's Guide to Golden Trophy and Crimson Cauldron. So keep that in mind. Also, in PvP games, it can be a little more difficult because these can one-hit kill. So I do suggest using a bow in a PvP game at a long range, but when someone gets close, just try to be moving, basically. The best thing you can do when you're just having a sword and maybe a shield is to always be moving. Unless you're in a very tight situation where you can't. But, like, if you're fighting a long line of goblins, sometimes when you're up there, they might hit you once you do this, and you're about to swing back down, so you'll get downed. What you want to do there is to probably just do that movement and then bring it back this way, or be on the side of them as they're walking down, and you just start doing this. Basically, as a swordsman, you want to probably mostly be moving more often. It'd make, you know, actually surviving most of the attacks a lot easier. So that's been the guide to a night with Sunny in Laughing Losers. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure, you don't have to, but it'd be very much appreciated if you were to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be notified I upload a guide, a tutorial, or just upload a normal video with the other Laughing Loser, or it could just be me. Who knows? Or it could just be him. I don't know. It just basically, please be notified. You can see when we upload a single video or another one. You know, we're gonna be trying to have a much better upload schedule. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Stop frowning, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.